Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Unpopular Opinion. We are so glad that you have decided to join us again, as in appreciation moment.
Thank you. You watching this makes us do it over and over again. So thank you.
So our discussion today is about healthy relationships and what that looks like. Like, it's a thing we talk about, man, you guys, healthy relationships, hashtag, relationship goals, all that stuff. So what do we mean? Like, what does that mean to us? These guys we're not going to talk about just romantic relationships. Everyone just has like their different stuff they're going to talk about. But yeah, I'm just saying, even me who is single, I have a contribution. Thank you.
Agape love, right?
Agape love, the love of Christ. Okay.
What does your healthy relationship look like with Christ?
Thank you. And the members.
Is he reminding you of your sins, or is he accepting
What is the relationship with your fellowship group? Anyway,
you swallow sheep. Are you just eating popcorn?
and the samosas. Anyway, okay, so let's get into it. Let me start with you, Claire. What's a thing that is present in a healthy relationship?
I think two things that stand out for me in a relationship is patience and grace, and I feel like you can't have one without the other. So patience, we're all imperfect, and if you do something to me, we're in a relationship, we're friends, and now we are colleagues as well. We are co-hosting this amazing show. And so what happens if you do something that upsets me? What does our healthy work relationship look like? What does our healthy friendship look like? It's patience, and grace. Patience means you're like, okay, this thing just, I can't understand why Fiona puts her hair like that, but look, I'm patient with her, or I don't understand why Prim is late, let's say, it's always late, but I'm patient. We're patient. We sit here patiently. Do you understand? You don't understand why Claire is always trying to take control of the conversation, but you're like, look, you're patient. But then grace is, look, maybe Fiona also doesn't like the way I do my hair. So, that's extending grace. Maybe she's standing, exactly. Maybe Prim had a rough night. Maybe she's really, really tried her best to get here when she did. That's grace. Do you understand? Maybe Claire just, has some kind of childhood trauma. I don't know why I talk a lot, but you know what I mean. But that's grace, trying to understand the other person, even if you're not in their shoes or you've never been. Exactly. So I feel like those two, if you have those two in a relationship, I find that's a very, very healthy relationship. Because the healthy relationship is not lack of problems. You could fight every day. That's true. You could disagree on everything. But a healthy relationship, when one shows you patience and grace, that's my opinion.
Okay, Prim?
For me, I think a healthy relationship or friendship is one where the person does not hate you. And I will expound on that. We've had partners or friends that like us in a certain place, in a certain space. Our friendship will thrive as long as I'm the provider. Our friendship will provide as long as I'm up there and you are somewhere here. As long as I'm the one giving you. So someone who doesn't hate you, someone who doesn't hate your success, someone who doesn't hate your happiness. There's a time that Oprah and Gayle King were talking about their friendship, and one of them was saying that, I think they were asking Gayle what has made their friendship last, and one of them said something like, I finally found a black woman that didn't hate me. She wasn't jealous of me. She would clap for me. She wanted more for me. And for me, a healthy relationship that comes to either friendship or, romantic relationships or even work relationships, someone that does not hate you. Because you could have a boss that hates you. They don't want you to, grow. But you have a boss who will tell you, what, I think you're too good. You should apply for this other job. I think you do well. And they'll recommend you. And, so someone that does not hate you.
That's really interesting. And I feel like it has also just made me think of, in not hating, I feel like sometimes, like it's not like you're perfect, but you make choices. Because we're all human and we have impulses. You may have an impulse to say something mean. You may have an impulse to be jealous. You may have, those impulses are going to happen and it doesn't make you a bad person. What matters is your reaction. Like, what do you choose to do about that impulse? You know? So anyway, it doesn't mean you're a bad person because you felt some thing, but how did you act on it? What did you say? You know, did you speak?
It's actually true. You can hear that your friend got a job. You know, and it makes you feel, why not me? You might even get an envy. Jealous is there. Like, hey, why not me? Do you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't deserve it. And then, exactly, that a healthy place to be is for you to catch yourself and be like, well, I'm happy for her. I'll get my turn.
Yeah. So for me, one thing I thought of, I wasn't sure how else to put it, but like, to be like, okay, discomfort, to be able to have uncomfortable conversations, to be able to deal with uncomfortable situations together. That, and especially, I was thinking a lot about family because, I don't know, me, I didn't grow up in the most communication-y family, and I feel like that's very common in the African setting, or let me say the Ugandan setting, because that's the one I really know. Those things of communicating that you said this and it made me feel this way, or you had me on that. You guys, the first time I ever told my parents that they did something or said something that affected me negatively, you guys, I was 29. First time ever. Guys,
yesterday.
Listen, it is yesterday because
your entire life. As your entire life you've been sitting on.
You're just, you know, and it makes for such an unhealthy relationship. So unhealthy. Like all those things held back, things unsaid, they build up. By the time you're saying them, you're falling apart even. Like you're wailing.
They're literally falling out instead of coming out in a controlled.
Just bursting forth. You know, so I feel like being unable to have uncomfortable conversations is such an important part of having a healthy togetherness, whether it's your family or your boo or whoever, but just like even with your boss, like just being able to say, you know what, this and this is not flying with me because it's making me feel X, Y, and Z. How can we? Those conversations are really vital, and I feel like they really set the tone for what your future could look like. Is there even a future?
Is there a future for this relationship? Because at the end of the day, if it's not healthy, why are you? If it's not healthy, that means it's toxic.
So then what is
you need to make a decision at that point. I think my next one would be boundaries. Every healthy relationship, husband and wife, sisters, friends, colleagues, has to have boundaries. And do you know what? We have not been taught boundaries as Ugandans.
Thank you.
We just don't know boundaries. I expect to call you, Fiona, and you pick up at 10 p.m. You have no idea whether I'm sleeping, having sex with my husband, having a meeting, praying, talking with God, talking with God. Like, but you call and I put you on busy, you call again at 10 p.m. Am I a doctor? Am I saving your life? Do you understand? And if it's urgent, send a message. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I feel like, and also I feel like a lot of times, even with us as influencers, as social media personalities, we need to create a boundary. And oftentimes I've created a boundary and people are very uncomfortable with boundaries. And people tell me how brave I am to go and say, look, do not do this with me, I will block you. That is me setting a boundary. Because I am not willing, there's a line I don't cross, and that's okay, guys. I accept people's boundaries, they're okay. It's what gives us a platform for healthy relationships. Because if I'm constantly exhausted and people are messaging me, especially on my Instagram, other relationship, but I'm saying I'm talking to our followers. A lot of times when we set boundaries as Ugandan content creators, people say we have kajanja. We are proud or whatever. But no, we're not proud. We're just telling you what we can take and what we can't. I'll give you an example. I have a lot of mom content on my page because I'm a new mom, and then people bombard you.
Advices.
Do this, do that, do this. Banange, there are a million things you get. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's not. Does that make sense? And then you have this world of information and no way of finding out whether or not it's genuine.
And you don't know which one to actually
Exactly.
choose and which one
And
to
I
leave
must
out.
say, I have been one of those people who give people unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
But I have, since becoming a content creator, I stopped.
Yeah.
Because what happens, just because other people who have told me other things are not in the room, just best believe you are the millions and one person to tell me an opinion or an opinion on what I should do. And all that is doing, give her a banana. No, don't give her a banana. Give her the small one. No, give her half. No, not half. You know, give her a tip. You know that tip. Like, I'm like, my God, information overloaded. No way of verifying this information. The only way I can verify is try it with my child, and yet it's, do you know what I mean? And so I feel like just trust that we have the person you are, the person the person you're telling advice has their advice system. They have support, their support system that gives them the advice. And for me, that's one that was really dear to my heart. Because people talk a lot about me and the fact that I say, guys, do not respond, I shall block you. Do not give me your unsolicited, my sisters, brothers, mothers, neighbors, maids' father had the same thing, and she grew a big head or a chimonde on the head. And I'm like, do you know what I mean? Now I'm sleeping and having these visions of my, of my child's head growing a chimonde on the head because your maid's brother's person grew a chimonde on the head from eating a banana. Does that make sense?
Boundaries. Please slap some respect on that, because boundaries and respect go hand in hand. Respecting someone's boundaries, respecting that, I don't want to hear this from you, or I'm just sharing my journey, I don't necessarily respect people's decisions. If someone disagrees with you, that is okay. You get, it's their opinion and they're entitled to it. Not this whole, okay, we shall see, you'll come back. Because I've experienced something like that. You see, I'm the only one who tells you, don't do this and that. Okay, one day you'll see, you'll be embarrassed. And I'm like,
why are you giving me fear? So what we're doing is giving other people our fear. Anyways.
So for me, another thing about healthy relationships is they don't make you feel insecure. I've had friends before where I've had to check how am I dressed before I come to meet them, not because I am indecent, not because I want to dress a certain way, but because I'm like, Have you ever had a friendship where you're afraid of leaving fast because they're going to discuss you? You're afraid of leaving. So I end up staying up to 11 p.m. pretending traffic. Kumbe,
you just don't want
I don't want to go because they're going to talk about me. I want us to all see each other going in different cars. So healthy relationships should not ever make you feel like that. That is a toxic relationship. Being afraid that if you walk away fast, the people that are staying behind will discuss you. And if it's a relationship, your partner should not have that mental make you feel like you could lose me anytime. I can never have a fight with Bubuna where I keep telling him that I could leave you. I will break up with you. I will, it's insecurity. You're planting insecurities in someone. You keep threatening, by the way. For me, I'll pack my clothes and go. For me, I will, whatever, even if it's your friendship, let people not be walking on eggshells around you. They are insecure. Today, I'm wondering, why isn't Claire talking to me? What was the last thing I said to her yesterday? Then go through the messages. What is it? So healthy relationships or friendships or whatever should not make you feel insecure. It shouldn't be insecure.
I think another thing I thought about when I thought about healthy relationships is compromise. I feel like, of course, these things be based on things also that we've seen. So I thought about a relationship I'd been in and where the person I was with just wanted to love me in a very convenient way, in a way that was easy for him, and it's a dangerous thing because you always feel left out. You always feel kind of alone. You know, that it's only when you're withdrawing that the person will return and be like, oh, there's this, there's this. There's compromise, you know. My love language is different from yours, for example, but because you love me, you invest in it because you want me to feel a certain way, you know. You want me to feel seen and hello, my sponsor. So it's like, you just, I don't know, that compromise just needs to be present. I don't see how you can want to love someone conveniently, even if it is even you, other people, your friends, your there needs to be that give and take, you know. We give, we take, we give, we take.
Likes presents.
Yeah, you know.
Me, I'm acts of service, so let me go and die for her at her function and slave away and she'll be happy. But she would have been very grateful if I probably gave her, you know, you're getting married, so here are flowers for you. Congratulations. When you win something, when you close a deal.
So just like taking the time to figure out what it is that your other person needs, and of course while they do the same, that give and take is just, I mean, that's really it's a help.
And on give and take, I feel like a lot of times we always say the other person, you know, like if we say boundaries, something like boundaries or acceptance of someone else's faults and their beauty, the beauty within them and the ugly within them, it's even you, like you set your boundaries, but also respect other people's boundaries. You accept other people's, okay, Fiona is the way she is. You get it? There's nothing I can do about the way Fiona is. Only Fiona can do something about the way Fiona is. Does that make sense? So even if I've told you my love language is gifts, and Fiona has never bought me not even one single gift, what is that, an unhealthy relationship? It's only unhealthy if you keep, if Fiona has never bought me gifts, release yourself. You get, accept that maybe Fiona does not know how to give gifts or does not understand how important gifts are to you. You get, and a lot of times people are like that, by the way. We forget birthdays, we do what? So I feel like do the work you. Do not expect things from other people. You get, you be a good friend. Whether Fiona is bad to you, you get, now of course you need to draw the line when it gets toxic. You get what I mean? But you not giving me gifts is not, in my opinion, is not toxic to me. Prim may feel something completely different. Give me gifts if you want, don't if you don't. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I feel like that it's a two-way, but sometimes you give more than you take.
This is true.
You guess a lot. It's you. What do you dish out? You cannot control what you get back.
That's true.
You guess.
Give without those expectations.
You can't say banange this time. She doesn't blah 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 blah. Kumbe the other day. Stop taking account of the things you do. You get, it's not a genuinely good thing if you're always saying I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
You know, the Bible says that love does not keep records of wrong. Yes,
exactly. So a lot of times we always expect people to do, but we don't expect ourselves. But I always say, look, release yourself from expectation. Do what you feel is right. If Fiona does what she feels is right, well and good. If she doesn't, you need to decide whether you're going to love her in spite of, or if it's too much for you. Because at some point, Fiona might just not decide not to buy me a gift, That's not toxic in my opinion. But then what's toxic then is that, my birthday even came, that chick didn't even give me a gift. You know, Kombe, the other time I took her where I did this and do that. Now you're the one being toxic. Do you get what I mean? So a lot of times with healthy relationship, look into yourself. Within you. If you catch yourself thinking something negative about someone you're in a relationship with, whether it's your mother, whether it's your friend, whether it's us, your influence, the people who you watch on if you find yourself finding, she's not even what, koza, check yourself. Because who told you? You know? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just check yourself. It's always coming back down to you because the other person has no obligation to you whatsoever. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. So for me, another healthy relationship be like support. support. It's very important for me. I was recently talking about my relationship with my young sister and how she felt like I've not supported her over the years. And at first, when she said it in a moment of anger, and she was tired. You know, that thing we're talking about where it just came out. And I was like, okay. I remember keeping quiet, and I went quiet for like a week. Like, I need to take this in. I need to now listen to her words. So now I started replaying the conversation, and I realized that the times she has called me for something, I've not shown up, and yet she would be the first person I called for something, and I expect her to show up. And when she doesn't, and I even have the entitlement to say that, oh, why don't you first chill what you're doing, and then you come and save me, your older puppy sister, okay? But I know that I've not had a healthy relationship with her, and it sucks that she had to pour it out like that, to first burst out like that for me to see it, to see my selfishness. And you know, but I know that I aim to make it better, because a healthy relationship with a sibling friendship, you need to feel supported and you need to offer support. And support is not do it my way. Support is, I think this and that, but if you say that you won't take my advice, I'll be here. If it works out, I'll be here clapping for you. If it didn't work out, I'm not going to sit and tell you I told you so. I don't have I told you so, not in my vocabulary. Yes, I try not to tell friends I told you so, not my partner. I wait for you when things go wrong. How can I be there for you? How can I support you? How can we go through this together? Okay, now how do we right this wrong? And there'll not be a day that I tell you, do you remember this time I told you? Even now I'm telling you and you're refusing. No, even then we are going to do it until we die. We are going to keep doing it and doing it. How can I support you? Because we are human. We make our own decisions. So healthy relationships shouldn't have I told you so. They should be support. Support you. Yes. Yes. Unwavering. I'll be here. The good, the bad, I'll be here.
I think another thing is just being intentional. I guess also it kind of is broad, but just being intentional about, I've even had this conversation with some of my friends about, you know, like how as we get older, there are people that fall away, and we also choose, you know, who falls away and who doesn't. I choose, like, it's not that, like how we're saying, there are people in our phones who we haven't responded to for weeks, right? But then there are people who, when they text you, you're like, it's Prim, you know? So there's a lot of like stuff you just need to be intentional about. If Prim means so much to me and I want to keep her in my life, Claire means so much to me and I want to keep her in my life, there are things that I choose. Like I choose that when Claire reaches out to me, I'm going to respond. When this one needs this, I'm going to be there. Like it's such an intentional thing. Like every day I'm choosing you and you're choosing me. So it's just like that aspect of being intentional is so important. And I think it's why a lot of people start feeling like left out and stuff, because someone is just not being intentional about you.
And that's what I'm saying, that if someone has decided not to be intentional about you, release yourself.
That's true.
You know, I think that's my tagline for the year, release yourself. By like, it's not like they hate you, it's just that it's not even like,
you
it's
don't
just
mean like that much to them.
it's not, you know, it's nothing negative. You're just not there. And maybe you can work your way up there one point and maybe not, but release yourself from caring. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You're not going to be everything to everyone.
You cannot. Like, it's just not possible. Like, there are certain friendships that are going to, you know, you're going to grow apart like that because you're just not that important to them. And it's okay.
And do you know the beauty I find in relationships that where acceptance happens? There's acceptance, there's non-expectancy. Oh, I don't know English. No expectation. My husband's going to laugh at me for this. And there's a boundary. I said boundaries. Yes, you've accepted the person. You're not. There's no toxicity. There's grace. There is patience. Those relationships are beautiful. You know, and I mean beautiful in that we've been friends for so long. And you know, you're what you know, in your head, Prim, there's no way Prim's going to get here before. And we know, and we are kawa. Or Claire, well, if you want to talk, you have to first bang tables before you talk, you know, and you're fine, you know, because what's happening is if you're keeping yourself in a toxic relationship, whichever one it is, because there are some relationships you can't really easily kick, especially when it's family. Friends are easy. What do you do when you have a toxic husband? Do you get what I mean? What do you do when you have a toxic relationship with your mother? Do you know what I mean? Release yourself. Do you get what I mean? It's about you, what you bring out, not what you take in. You can block the toxic. You can. You get, and realize when it happens what, you know, therapy is also a good thing, especially because I know that we can say all the boundaries and whatnot. How do you create boundaries with your dad? How do you create boundaries with your boss? You go and say, excuse me, in order for me to work here, I need A, B, C, and D. How do you create boundaries if, like, let's say your in-laws, your mother-in-law,
difficult colleague at work?
Do you get with that? Because there are some relationships you can't sit down at a table and talk this shit out. You know, in which case, put your wall. When that toxicity comes out, bounce. It bounce. Yes, exactly. So you know, okay, your weird toxic relationship is with your in-laws. You have to be with your in-laws. There's nothing you can do about them. Do you get what I mean? So you go and sit quietly, give yourself peace, release. Do you get what I mean? Stop, like we intertwine ourselves so much in things. Exactly. If someone says something and annoys you, what you need to do is
stay back.
So you need to do the work to release yourself from those annoying things that annoy you. Do you get what I mean? Have you ever been with like people like are married and they say, you get, and these are people that used to fight about the same thing in the beginning, and eventually you're like, no,
it was nothing.
I'm going to fight for the rest of your life. You know, you expect it even. Do you get what I mean? That's the same way. If you have to be in this relationship, you release your emotions. You release yourself.
I think also it's like you need to also like keep yourself accountable. Because I don't remember who I had saying this, and they were saying how like they've always been like really honest and stuff, and you know, like that hard honesty of like they just kind of slaps you in the face, and then over time she realized, oh, actually I've been kind of using this as an excuse to be mean, because you don't have to be mean to be honest. You know, there are kind ways to say things. So as you're expecting also those things from others, you also have to be accountable. How am I talking to people? Am I saying, you guys, anyway, I'm just honest, whatever. If you can't take it, bye. You know.
Me, I'm like that. Maybe I come off as rude, but
this is me. So like, we're not set in stone. Humans are changeable. We're not set in stone. Exactly. Thank you. And also try so hard not to be the toxic one. You can't do anything about someone else's toxicity, but you can do something else about your toxicity. You know, and no one is ever going to come and tell you, Fiona, Prim, you people are toxic. No one is ever going to tell you you're toxic. If it comes out, it's usually with a fight. It usually comes out unintended, but no one's going to sit down and say you're toxic.
Listen to those fights. What are they saying in those outbursts?
Also, do the work. Think about, if you're watching this right now, after this episode, sit down with yourself and wonder, what is the last fight you had with someone? Evaluate yourself. Are you toxic or are you not toxic? You know, and oftentimes if you actually do introspection, not retro. Again, my husband's going to laugh at this. English is a problem. Accent is not bad, but the English. Anyway, so often you just need to sit down and think. We don't often self-reflect. We're so busy pointing at everyone else, we forget that there are so many other fingers pointing back at us. You know, you're so busy trying to take the Bible says you're busy trying to take the thing out of kumbe, for you have that big so think of look at yourself. That's the honest truth. You can only avoid toxicity from yourself. you know, and bounce it back away from other people. You cannot change other people. So you can't complain about the toxicity of other people, because sometimes we're the ones who are toxic.
So guys, those are our thoughts, you know. I'm sure it's something we could talk about for
Forever, and stories and examples.
Examples can never end because life. But please let us know what you guys think. What are those things that you find to be vital for health, you know, for growing healthy relationships, for maintaining healthy relationships? Let us know in the comment section below, and we can just chat about that a little bit.
Another thing I'd like to know from you guys is, are you yourself toxic? Have you done the work? You know, pause this video, think about it, and then come back and put in the comments, are you toxic or are you not toxic?
Yeah, and we will have that conversation. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, please.
And click the
notification bell. Guys, please invite a friend to invite a friend. Bye, guys.